I just got on this really challenging part. Like, getting the first string down is the hardest because you're not sticking it to somewhat still tacky pass string. You're sticking it to like string that's been completely cured on the last half. Like, I'm starting the back half of the bone, and I'm like, instead of going onto moist clay, I'm going onto like already hardened glue. So it's really hard to get it to even stick. The first row of string is so hard. So I was really concentrating to get it started, especially around that first turn. Once I get past some of these hard parts, then it's clean sailing. Would he be able to dance better than me? I think so. I mean, well, okay. That's actually a good question. Like, the fact that it's a robot dancing, if it has rhythm and it's a robot, like, anyone's gonna vote for the robot because that's just so epic. But in terms of would it move as smoothly as I could or as gracefully, I think that's unlikely. That would be pretty amazing. I mean, because dancing is like the ultimate in graceful body motion. And to get a robot to have that kind of grace, I mean, to actually be able to dance real graceful, that's a tall order. A lot of code would go into that, that's for sure. So I'd say that a robot could, or yeah, this robot could theoretically dance better than me, but it would be very difficult in terms of the coding to make it have that much quality of movement. I just downgraded myself to 1 string, down from 8 back in the day. I'm just going to rep 1 at a time. I think I can do a faster job with 1 than with 2. I've tried like all sorts of different numbers of strings working at once, but it seems like the fewer I have, the more I focus on glue management, and really that's the key, is to keep putting glue down at the right moment so you can just keep going. Plus, just dealing with wrapping 1 string at a time just makes life easier. You don't have to worry about tangles and stuff. And 1 string at a time is so much faster. I can already tell it's gonna fly now. That was a good move by me. You just keep putting on the glue and taking off. It's a lot easier to get into a rhythm, I think, with 1 string at a time. It's all about the rhythm. You want to hit each batch of glue you put down right as it's hitting its tacking phase, which is like it's like a 15 to 20 second window where it gets really sticky right before it goes off, and then it hardens really fast after that. You want to put the string down at that right moment. Oh, sometimes you just gotta put some glue down and just hold it for a while. In these concave areas, the string just wants to pop out. Like, it doesn't want to stick in there. What am I making? I'm making the ulna, which is one of the 2 bones in the forearm. I sculpted out of clay, and now I'm going over it with upholstery thread and crazy glue as my composite technique for creating a lightweight composite structure that's very strong. What's this? So I'm making a humanoid robot. It's supposed to be very realistic. It's going to be based on an actual human skeleton structure. which is going to be actuated through servo motors and an intricate pulley system that kind of simulates human muscles. This particular bone is the ulna, which is one of the two bones in the forearm. I'm currently going over the clay sculpt with upholstery thread and crazy glue in order to create a really strong, lightweight composite structure, which I'll then hollow out. I'm going to cut this in half, remove the clay, apply epoxy inside and out, and it's going to be extremely lightweight. Here's an example of the finished bone. This was the other forearm bone. It's super light. Well, this bone probably took like 2 hours to sculpt in clay really accurately, and then to do all the string wrapping took probably total another 6 hours, maybe even 7 hours. Then I have to dig out all the clay and stuff, so I mean all in, this bone probably takes like 11 or 12 hours. As far as the whole robot, I mean, it's a multi-year project for sure. Did you do the skull yet? No, I didn't. And in fact, I'm glad, because I just thought of an idea a couple days ago that I should do a casting of the skin of my skull first before I sculpt the skull, so that I know that the skull will be the same size as my head, because this robot ultimately is going to look just like me, so I'll be able to follow the skin mask I make, replicating my own head when I make the skull that way. But basically I just focused on the hands first, even though the skull means I can do the face and the facial expressions, and that's really awesome. But what's cool about doing the hands and the arms is you actually can have it do stuff at that point. Like, it can give a thumbs up, it can wave, it could write or draw. Like, it can actually kind of be useful right off the bat at that point. Obviously, giving it the rest of its body and its second arm, blah blah blah, is going to be awesome as well. But just having one arm fully articulated with hands that can move like a human hand is really a big achievement, especially since I've never built a robot before. So that's going to be exciting for me, just getting that landmark done. I'm going to be taking molds of my hands and my head and actually my whole body using silicone over the next week or so. That's coming up next, because it's needed to verify that these bones are the right size as well. How much money did you put in already? Good question. No one's ever asked that before. Let's see. I want to say like $400. So are you a programmer or going to get... Oh no, I'm a programmer, hardcore programmer. So that's kind of like the most exciting part of this, is programming it. It's like the ultimate kind of extension of what you can do with a computer program. on a computer you can make software that can do cool stuff, but to be able to actually have a humanoid robot that you can bring to life literally with your code, make it do awesome things, I mean that's any programmer's dream. So like I would have been willing to buy a humanoid robot if that were in existence today, but you really just can't do it. So I'm just making my own. I really want to program one. That's like my main focus. I program in C++, but I also know a lot of other languages. So yeah, I'm gonna go completely crazy with the coding once I have a robot to code with, and that'll be really fun. How the heck is this thing plugged? I just poked a hole deep inside of it with this needle. I don't know how it could still be plugged. Man, can you imagine how much it costs to get somebody to program this thing? I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that. Whereas if I do it myself, it's free. It's just my time. Yeah, that would not even be optional. I mean, even even to have somebody make this for me would cost probably like $400,000. How do you work and still do this? Well, I'm an entrepreneur, so I sell things online on my website. I have a couple ways I make money, but yeah. It's going to be a bit of a balancing act to kind of try to make money outside of this project, but I do think I can monetize this project at some point. I have a lot of ideas about that. I mean, obviously streaming and YouTube jump out right off the bat. I hope your robot doesn't become self-aware and kill you and take your face. I would be very shocked if that happened. Yeah, well, I'm not worried about that since I'm the one coding it, and I know that I'm not that good of a programmer that I can make a robot that becomes self-aware. I mean, that's you're talking about some very advanced artificial intelligence there, which doesn't exist today, although some people predict someday it will exist. It's not here yet. Some people are working on that though, which is scary. But this robot will only do what I program it to do, pretty much. Are you at home doing it, or are you in a facility other than your house? No, I'm actually in my bedroom. I live with my dad, so I'm in my bedroom in his basement. The epitome of a nerd, right? Which explains a little bit of why it's possible for me to even take this project on. Like, I'm not married yet, and I'm good at saving my money, so I'm not like in any debt. So I'm able to invest in different business pursuits that I have and save up to get married soon. In the next few years I plan to get married, so what's the story behind this? Well, I've been interested in robotics and automation for years, like decades, and I mean, I guess most people are really. That's why all the movies right now are all about like robotics and stuff. But yeah, so I guess I always thought someday, like after I'm retired or already have like a career and my income's kind of passive and automated, that I would be able to pursue robotics like someday when I'm like 50 years old. But I don't know, I just kind of got sick of saying someday and decided one day about a week ago, well actually last year, I put in about a month into this project, and then about a week ago I decided to like go hardcore and zerg on this project for like a few months and see what happens. So I'm just kind of trying to weave it into my overall career, doing this robotics project like a few months out of the year maybe straight, like as a break from my other entrepreneurial pursuits. I mean, unless if this ended up being able to be monetized where I could do it full time, that would be kind of interesting. But even then, I've got other businesses that I would want to still spend time on, so it's gonna have to share with my other stuff. But yeah, I mean, I got into pretty advanced programming for other businesses, and it just kind of fits that I'd be able to make some really cool artificial intelligence to go with a really cool robot and be able to accomplish a lot of cool things. And I have a lot of plans for this robot if I'm successful. Like, I have a lot of things I'd like to do. Thanks for the follow, Dark Brain. Pretty much anything I say about what I have planned for this robot will sound ridiculous, you know, because to even have a robot is like science fiction, right? So it's kind of silly to talk about, but it's definitely exciting to talk about. I mean, if you use your imagination, if you suspend your disbelief to think about cool things you could do with a humanoid robot, it's really awesome, all the possibilities. And I believe I'm going to succeed. I have all the plans in my mind. A lot of them are laid out. I've discussed them in my YouTube channel. You got this. Thank you, your boy. If you become famous, say, Higher Hawk supported you. Alright, I'll do that. Actually, I shouldn't say that, because if I forget, then I'm not a man of my word, so I'll say, I probably won't do that, but I'll probably forget. I have a horrible memory. So when I say I'll do that, there's quotation marks around it. You know, the fact that I probably would be famous if I succeed makes kind of people even more skeptical that I'll succeed. Like my dad said, the fact that if I succeed I'll be famous is evidence that I will not succeed. So he's like the biggest doubter of the project. But how epic will that be to prove my dad wrong, you know? Wow, you threw me right under a bus, then shot me 12 times and buried me. What? What are you talking about? What did I do? How did I do that? It doesn't sound very nice. I don't want to do that to anyone. Block the haters. Actually, I've never blocked anyone. I've had really good stream viewers. I don't even know how to do it yet. I'm gonna forget you. Oh! Well, it depends how often I see you. There's a possibility I could remember some of my streamers, or my stream viewers. I had one viewer that watched me for 20 hours straight, like 4 days ago. Which is pretty dedicated. Does my mom support me? I don't know. She's not very it's like she just listens and nods. Sometimes laughs when I say something funny about it, but I don't think she's ever given me a genuine like prediction of whether she thinks I'll succeed or not. You know, like, but does she support me? I guess everyone supports me in my family. It's just, do they genuinely believe I'll succeed? Now that's another story. Like, they might be supporting me learning the hard way not to do something like this ever again. They might support that. But I don't know if any of them, I don't know if anybody actually believes 100% I'm going to succeed. Maybe some people in my stream have believed that, but I'll never know what they really think. I mean, they might think that I'm some really funny, crazy guy trying to do something outrageous, and they're like, yeah, we support you, we believe you're going to succeed. So I don't know. The only thing that matters is that I believe I'll succeed. Is my mom a hater? No, I mean, if she is a hater, I don't think she showed it. Like, she's never been critical. My dad's a skeptic, and I wouldn't say that's a hater. He wants me to succeed with it. And he allows himself to imagine it from time to time. But I'm sure he's very skeptical. He's very skeptical, but not like openly like making fun of the project. Can I see some more bones if you're not really busy? Sure. I don't have that many, but I got this one. This is the other forearm bone. And then here's like a few finger bones. You can't really see that, but yeah, it's hard to see because of all the black around them. There's no contrast. But yeah, I painted them on a mirror so you can get the paint cleaned up after. And then here's just like the sculpt of the hand. You can see a couple bones inside of there that are partially done. And that's about all the bones. I mean, I got a couple more on the shelf, but it's most of them. The really brutal job will be doing the spine. Spine is going to be a beast to try to sculpt. I was thinking of ways to get around that, like have the spine have one joint, but then that'll mean the robot will just fold in half and crush anything that's in its chest area or stomach area. So it will need to have a full-on spine, which will look awesome, but it's a lot of sculpting. And I think this is my most exciting project, I think, by far. I'm the most passionate about this. I've wanted to do this for so many years, but I'd always been told I shouldn't do it until I'm financially stable. But I just couldn't take it anymore. I just had to start working on it. I did a little 3D animation. I really didn't like that much. Yeah, it's very technical. When I have to animate this robot after it's built, it's actually going to be using a lot of principles of 3D animation, which will be pretty interesting. I mean, I'm going to have to animate this thing like crazy with like keyframes and everything. In order for it to be able to even attain just basic tasks like standing up or walking. There's going to be a lot of 3D animation algorithms that I have to create for it. one thing kind of funny about this project is I've never built any robot at all, and I'm trying to build like one of the most advanced robots in the world right now. I mean, I think it is, as far as humanoids go. It should be up there. If I succeed, it should be one of the most advanced. But whether I succeed is the big question mark. I drop out of school. I mean, if you were really happy playing video games all day and not really pursuing anything in your life, then you'd be looking forward to waking up. Like, I went through a period where I played World of Warcraft for like a whole year, and I had certain goals for what I wanted to do in the game, and I did them, and that was pretty much it for me. But I was happy doing it. If you're not happy playing games, then it probably means that somewhere inside you feel like you should be doing something else, and you're just procrastinating. So you should just get on it. Go after what you want. No one's going to hand it to you. You got to work for everything in life. And ideally, you can still play games. If you're a hardcore gamer, you should be able to still play games while you also take care of business, you know. You don't have to quit cold turkey. Just try to do something each day that moves you closer to your goals. I was pretty unhappy when I was 17. Like, I was really down in my life. So that happens. But right now I'm very happy in my life. Like, I'm extremely happy about everything. And I'm highly motivated and very enthusiastic and optimistic. And I have a lot of big goals and dreams that I'm going after, like getting married and starting a family, being a successful entrepreneur, building a really awesome robot. So I'm pumped up. Like, I can stay up 20 hours and work hardcore, pumped up to go to sleep, pumped up to wake up. Like, I'm living on a high. I'm just really excited, and like, that's the way to go. And I'm hoping someday to be successful enough to not only provide for myself and my family, but be able to help others. That's something I would love to do. Oop. I just want to know what I want in life. You get what I'm saying? I'm just lost. Yeah, well, that's not too uncommon at your age. I mean, like I said, I was just like, I'll be a doctor. Like, that's what I was thinking at 18, 19 years old. Just because I was like, well, I get pretty good grades. Doctors make a lot. I'll be a doctor. Like, I just pick something. You could just go that way, you know, just pick something out of your butt and then change your mind when you get a better idea. You could just pick something temporarily. But, like, I didn't really know I wanted to be an entrepreneur and pursue, like, all the things I'm into now until like my mid to late 20s. So I would say try to enjoy being lost. Enjoy the freedom of living with your parents, assuming you are. Enjoy the freedom of being able to play games. Like, someday you might be a married guy with wife and kids and a lot of responsibilities and financial stress. And there are advantages to being in the stage of life you're in now. Like, every stage of life is different. And you should just try to be positive and enjoy whatever stage you're in. Try to look at the bright side of things. Like, try to think of things you're thankful for. That always helps, just to be positive. Although it can be hard at times, but it's nice when you can do that. Why do I look painful? I'm just sore in general. Like, I've been working for 10 hours straight on this, so yeah, I am in pain at this point. But I like to sit in a reclined position. Like the pain I'm feeling is in my shoulders mainly. But I like to sit in a reclined position with good ergonomics. And I have good ergonomics how I'm sitting, but that can only get you so far when you're like using your arms a lot. Like, my muscles are bound to get sore eventually, but you know, the thing that you'd think would hurt me after sitting for, you know, 15 hours straight or 20 hours straight would be my lower back, and that doesn't hurt me at all. I have good lumbar support, and the weight's off my lower back because I'm kind of sitting in a reclined position. It's really the only pain I feel is just my deltoids, like my shoulders. You can't spell today. Yeah, just my shoulders and my fingers. But that's just from use. Nothing like a bad back where it's gonna hurt me for days. Like, my only sorenesses and pains are just from straight up hard work, and nothing's out of place or anything like that. So I'll feel fine tomorrow after a good night's sleep. I'm just really stiff from working so many hours in a row. Well, have a great day, man. See you later on. Alright, cool. You have a good day too, your boy.